Hi, friends. People message me on Messenger or Facebook Messenger. Even though I'm taking a break from Facebook, you won't find me on there. Asking me things I've mentioned a long time ago, like when I worked as a mental health therapist, why I wouldn't take co-payments. I'll give the answer to that right now. They needed the money for food for their children and their family, and I was scraping by okay. Um, there was a time when I was going to become a famous book writer. I want you to know I wasn't always the type that would hand people back money. There was a time when I was wrote the first book in 1969. It probably is not on Amazon. It's called When Twilight Begins. And then second one 2 years later, I Believe in Love. And then the next year or two, I put out Touching You, Touching Me, the title of one of Neil Diamond's albums. Went through 7 printings, sold not only here but worldwide in English-speaking countries. Lost a lot of money too. I had distributors quit, go bankrupt, and of course I didn't make any money on that. I had one distributor send books back, and a lot of books. We're talking about I was printing 5,000 of each book, and they were handling all my books, but they weren't selling many. So I said, could we break the contract? They said yes, and they said they'd ship it, and they did. But they insured it, and I went past the year that I could have filed a claim, so I lost all that money because I was so busy trying to write new books. I say trying, I mean doing it, actually doing it, and promoting them, taking trips to sell them, even going door to door, selling them in person. Now, you're going to find that hard to believe, but I did. And very seldom got turned down because I was selling them for $1 a book. That was the first book, When Twilight Begins, 1969. Now we're at 1974. We're selling Touching You, Touching Me nationwide and other places outside the U.S. I really thought I'd be a millionaire. I really did. That was during the Vietnam War. Okay. Well, I was brought down a couple times. I'm talking about really brought down to where I wouldn't buy a car unless, well, I bought one for $300. It was a Pinto, Ford Pinto, and a couple Mavericks for less than $1,000. That's what I ran around with for the next years because I lost so much money. See, I owed money for those books, and didn't pre. The ones that were self-printed, self-published by me, I paid for the printing, and then they got to believing in me, the printers, and they gave me credit. And it took a long time to get that taken care of. So I started reevaluating. The money doesn't matter. I had a friend, he was a counselor, This was before I became a counselor. And he said, I had gone back to become a counselor at a graduate school. But he said, Jim, do you want money or do you want peace? I said, I want both. It got down to, when he asked that question, when we met, I said, I want peace. So somebody told me the other day, this happened last week. They said, you're selfish. I said, well, I don't aim to be. I said, I gave money to the guy out at Walmart that was collecting money to eat. I don't know if it was for real or not that he needed it. I paid for veterinarians, VA war veterans food at a restaurant. I don't think that was selfish. Well, why I'm bringing this up today is I just read a very kind response from a video last night. And the person said, you can probably read it and see my response to it, because it's on this platform rather than Messenger with Facebook. So she says, I'm going to paraphrase it. I'd like to listen to you because I can tell you're not in this for the money. Now, I don't know what she was referring to. If it's because I don't flash, subscribe. Every once in a while, I think even last night I said, I really don't care if you subscribe or not. I said, every once in a while, this is not my exact words. Every once in a while, someone will subscribe. I've got over 500 now. I said I like stuff. If a person likes it, I always pay attention to that, and I'm starting to try to answer all the people's, I want to say, their messages to me. And I'll blame a whole lot of why I haven't been, because I've been sick. And I've had COVID 3 times. For you that believe in long COVID, it's come to stay with me. Okay, I'm going to cut this short, and I'm going to come back with another one on money, probably before the day's over. And it'll be something like why I no longer have a relationship with money. Why I don't work for it, why I don't accept it. And I don't even know the title of this one, but I'm going to close it down right now. You've heard enough. You say, that's a sick man. You're going to think I'm sicker when I turn down money for a will and being executor for my brother. I thought the money doesn't belong to me, it belongs to my nieces. So before he died, he said, he didn't put me in the will. He thought I'd make more being an executor. He says, take out all that they'll allow you to take out as an executor in Indiana. I said, after it was all said and done, I said, I'm not going to break up family, have a family feud and break up my family with them saying, oh, he made money doing nothing but talking to an attorney. So, and you know, every single person I told this to, every person I told that I would not accept a penny to be executor, and I was not in his will. He had two daughters, and the money I really believe was over between $1 and $2 million, and could have been more, because it had been handed down generations. I didn't even see the will, but I was executor of the will. I talked to the attorney. I converted the executor privilege to my two nieces, which was his two daughters in Fresno, California. We'll talk more about my thoughts about money, accepting money, when not to accept money, maybe even later on tonight. Right now it's about 4:30. It's August the 25th, 2025. Thanks for tuning in, and feel free to leave any good or bad responses. And I bet you I get a bunch that says you should have taken all the money you could have gotten as an executor. I feel that coming, because that's all I've ever heard when I told this story. God bless you. Take care. Talk with you later.